Alright guys, so I'm making this video to show you guys a change log of everything that I changed in the Shattered World update. Now before, I had 20 total kingdoms, but I lowered it down to 17 due to AI malfunctioning. The AI just recognized too many total kingdoms, it seems like, and diplomacy and war engagement were uh, messed up because of it. So I lowered the amount of kingdoms and I made it so that most kingdoms share at least 4 borders. Most of them do. Places like this only share 3, obviously, but most kingdoms share at least 4 borders. Obviously, these ones down here and these ones can't. This one does, though, I believe. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you can share that border, but I made it so that a lot of them are connecting, so that the AI is more likely to wage war on their neighbors. What I also did was I removed 3 kingdoms. There was one up here, there was one right here, and then there was a fourth Aserai kingdom. I removed all those simply because for the previous reason, and to make the factions just a little bit stronger, so they feel more at ease going to war, and so that most of the clans in each kingdom have a territory where they can pay their troops and field larger armies and the likes. And that's one of the main reasons why I did it. Another reason is because I wanted to make the vanilla faction stronger. I didn't really do much with Sturgia because they didn't seem to really get steamrolled as much, but I did give them this extra castle right here. With Northern, I believe I gave them Gauss, I think, and then I also gave them Jurgis. So they have, I think it's 9 or 10. They have 10 fiefs total. I gave the Southern Empire Vostrom. So another town, so they have 6. They have 9 total. I took this castle and Vostrom from the Festea, so I ended up giving them these 2 castles right here, since I was combining these 2 factions down here anyway. I made the Aserai a lot stronger simply because they have 2. They're surrounded essentially on both sides. Plus, they were never really strong to begin with in the vanilla game, so I wanted to give them a slight advantage over the rest of the kingdoms, and the fact that they have 5 towns. Well, I guess Southern Empire does too, but they're not. I don't think Southern Empire is nearly as well set up as the Aserai are. I split up this faction that was right here. I gave Rathia, Ortizia, Garantor, and Goliran, so they now have 9. I gave Legata to Botania, simply because I was moving Botanian rivals up here more. So I gave Kriahan two castles and 2 towns. So I took a town from them, I took a castle from them, and then expanded them more. I think, no, I did not add a faction to them. I didn't add a clan to these guys. I believe I added one to Astiotin. I did. And I believe I added one to, was it Ortizia? I think it was Ortizia. Not Ortizia. Frathia. Astiotin I kept the same. Besides this castle, I actually took 1 castle from them, simply because these 2 towns right here are worth like 4 towns. So they're already really strong and really stable money-wise. Plus they have a lot of their, some of their castles have more than 2, I think. I'm not sure, but these 2 towns are really, really nice towns, and they can pay for a lot. So I actually made Astiotin weaker. I gave the Kettleson earldom, Dinning Castle. To make them a little bit stronger and to make it so that almost every faction in that kingdom has a settlement. I didn't change these guys at all. They're actually pretty strong as is, so I haven't changed them. I didn't change any of these either. Simply because I know that I should probably break these guys up more, because the Kuzai and these guys just seem to steamroll anyway. But once I create the new cultures and the new troop trees for all the new kingdoms, I don't think these guys will steamroll as much. So yeah, like that's pretty much the gist of it. I did some rebalancing of clans. So tier 6, tier 5, tier 3, tier 3, tier 4, tier 3, tier 5, and tier 2. And pretty much all the kingdoms followed that same, all the created kingdoms anyway, followed that same setup. So like 1 tier 4, 2 tier 5s, a tier 6, and then the rest tier 3s. And 1 tier 2. And they all pretty much follow that same setup. But yeah, what I wanted to do in this video as well was, I have a mod on right now that allows me to speed up time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run by a year and see how everything is faring here. I have tested already, and the kingdoms do seem to go to war more often and capture more territories and stuff like that. So we'll see how everything runs here. And at the year point, I'm going to take a settlement and set up a kingdom so I can look at relative strength between the kingdoms. So we're just going to go in here and we're just going to wait. And this, I think it goes like 1 day every like 6 seconds. So it won't take long to be a year. But yeah, I do have a lot of plans for this mod. Like I said already, I want to create new cultures and troop trees for each kingdom, for each new kingdom. I'm not going to mess with the native cultures or native troop trees, simply because that ruins a lot of mod compatibility with other mods. So I'm not going to touch any of that. But for the new kingdoms, I will create new cultures, I will create new kingdoms, and not new kingdoms, new troop trees. If I can figure out how to make the AI more aggressive, I will create more kingdoms. But until then, I'm probably just going to keep it the way it is right now. As you can see, Astiotin already took Gelmarius from the Western Empire. I think Feste is about to take Mantola here. The Zukir took Askar from Asarai. Let's see. And these symbols will stay sometimes with doing the speed up, simply because the game just can't process it. So we're at about half a year here. But always, guys, you can always message me on Nexus Mods. You can always comment on the mod page, all that stuff. Give me your suggestions, throw me your feedback, tell me what you think is wrong with it, what you want to see, stuff like that. Obviously, I can't accommodate everybody, and I do have an idea, a roadmap for this mod, but I will definitely take suggestions and I will work with them to the best of my ability. So don't be afraid to just say something. Not much else going on. Most of the time, though, it is a fight between castles until one kingdom gets strong enough to take a bunch of towns. So I promise you that when I zoom in and look around the map, you will see that a lot of castles are taken, a lot of castles that switch sides, stuff like that. So we're in spring. I think we start in summer, don't we? Yeah, I think we start in summer. So we're just gonna keep going for another month here. Or another season. One thing I think I have noticed is that this faction over here does seem to snowball pretty hard. Um, so I will look into nerfing them quite a bit. That's just the Kuzaites in general. Like they are Kuzai culture, so they use Kuzai troops, all that stuff, and that's just kind of how they are in general. It seems to be. So I don't know how to fix that besides like creating a new troop tree for them. All right, so we're at a year. Let's go take a look around here. Okay. So it doesn't look like any towns. It looks like Jacuin got conquered from Vrathia by Valandia. But Vrathia struck back and took 2 castles. Looks like this was taken by these guys, so that means these guys also went to war with Valandia at some point. It looks like the war between the Kriahan and the Battanians ended in a stalemate because nothing, I don't think, changed hands. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, Battanians, they're still at war right now. So these guys start out at war, so they must have gone back to war, which is nice. Doesn't look like the earldoms really did anything major here. It looks like they took this castle. Looks like who's at war right now? Okay, so this is actually a really good sign. So the Kenshin Horde is at war with the Northern Empire, which is a cross, which is a really good sign. But it looks like the Kenshin Horde didn't really snowball that hard, actually. That's surprising, like they usually do. But it looks like Fastea is doing pretty good handiwork here as well, though. They even went into Kuzai territory. Let's take a look down here. So Astiotin went into the Western Empire, took one of their towns, took one of their castles, called it good. As you can see, like there's no siege actually happening here, but this, and that's because of the speed up. It doesn't look like really anything else major happened. But keep in mind, guys, all the factions are relatively the same strength at the beginning of the game. So anyone that falls behind is the one that's going to get ganged up on. So it's actually cool to see that. Well, it's like Sturgia actually took Seordis Castle. So it's actually cool to see that, like, no one has really gained, like, the majority advantage. Aserai at war with anyone? Aserai is at war. They're at war again with the Tunita, who they start out at war with. They also start out at war with these guys. These guys are currently not at war with anyone. Vrathia is currently at war with no one. Valandia is currently at war with the Kettleson Earldom, which is way up here. That's a really good sign. The fact that these guys are declaring war on these guys up here. Astiotin is at war with Battania. Northern Empire is at war with the Kenshin Horde and the Urfelden Earldom. Kuzai are at war with nobody right now. And then Fastea is at war with nobody right now. Alright. So we're just going to take a castle. I always go for this one up here. I don't know why. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to be able to see the diplomacy screen, because they will show relative strength. So this number right here is their relative strength. So this includes standing armies, garrisons, and I believe militias. This number right here. So Western Empire is on the weaker end there. The Korean end is kind of in the middle. Britannia is on the weaker end. Urfelden Earldom is kind of on the weaker end. Northern Empire is kind of in the middle. Kettleson's pretty strong. Sturgia is in the middle. Kenshin's pretty strong. Kuzai's towards the middle. Vastea's getting up there, actually. Southern Empire is kind of in the middle. Asarai is actually pretty weak right now. Zukir's hot upper middle, lower middle for Vlandia. Vrathia is actually pretty strong. And the Tunita Sultanate is pretty strong. But as you can see, none of these are below 2,000. Which is when a kingdom is considered like super weak. So I think the mod as it stands right now is actually pretty balanced. Obviously, I think some things could be balanced out a little bit more. But for the time being, I think it's actually really good. So I'm probably just going to leave it like this. I might nerf. Oh, Astiotan actually lost Gersagos. So they took a trade. So that's not bad, actually. So they fought back. So where was the Astiotan on? So they're actually really strong. And that's because, look at this. Prosperity, 5,000. That's insane. That's so high. And then this one is 4,871. That's like the two highest prosperities in the game. And Astiotan has those. So I might weaken these guys just a little bit more. Like I might... I feel like the Northern Empire just kind of gets steamrolled too, though. I'll figure it out, but I might just take away with their one town and give them like this castle instead. Because with these two towns, they don't need a third town, you know. So we'll see what I decide here. But as you can see, guys, the game's actually pretty balanced in my opinion. So I'm gonna probably just be working on creating cultures and troop trees for the next update. But yeah, like I said, guys, if you guys have any suggestions or feedback, please let me know. Leave a comment on the mod page, send me a DM, whatever you need to do to get my attention. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all enjoyed the mod.